On a Saturday morning in October of 2021, a man named Daniel Herrera and his wife Elena climbed onto a Harley-Davidson Road King in Asheville, North Carolina. They were 52 and 49, married 23 years, two grown daughters in Raleigh. Daniel had ridden this parkway dozens of times. He knew every tunnel, every overlook, every decreasing radius hairpin between milepost 350 and 360. The forecast that morning was clear. High 62, light wind, zero precipitation. They left the hotel at 9:15. By 9:40, they were at milepost 355, the Craggy Gardens overlook, where the Blue Ridge Parkway crests the ridge at 5,300 feet and the world falls away on both sides. The sky was blue. The visibility was unlimited. They pulled over, took a photo. Elena laughing in her leather jacket, the mountains stacked behind her like blue paper cutouts. They got back on the bike, pointed north toward Mount Mitchell, and then, in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee, the world vanished. Not gradually, not with warning. One moment the ridge was bathed in sun, the next, a wall of white rolled up the eastern slope like a tide, silent and absolute. Visibility dropped from miles to 10 feet in 90 seconds. Daniel later told investigators he never saw the guardrail. He felt the bike shudder as the front tire kissed gravel. He remembered Elena's hand tightening on his waist. Then darkness. The Road King came to rest against a split-rail fence 20 yards past the overlook pullout. Daniel Herrera survived with a shattered pelvis, 7 broken ribs, and a traumatic brain injury that stole 18 months of his memory. Elena Herrera did not survive. She was thrown 40 feet down the embankment. The cause of death was blunt force trauma. The cause of the crash was not speed, not alcohol, not a mechanical failure. It was a cloud that formed on top of them in 90 seconds on a clear Saturday morning on the most beautiful road in America. This was not a freak accident. On the Blue Ridge Parkway, it is closer to a routine because the 469 miles of this road that carry you from Shenandoah to the Smokies have a hidden killer, and it is not the curves. Everyone fears the curves. The 318 curves in the first 100 miles alone, the decreasing radii, the blind crests, the off-camber exits that punish a late break. But the curves are honest. They demand your attention. They force you to slow down. They keep you sharp. The thing that kills you on this road is the exact thing that makes it feel safe on a clear day. The open ridge, the long sight lines, the gentle grades, the feeling that you can see forever. Because when the radiation fog comes, and it comes here more than 200 mornings a year, that openness becomes a trap. The claim is not a headline someone invented for clicks. It comes from the numbers. In a National Park Service analysis of fatal crashes on the parkway over 20 years, researchers found that fog was a contributing factor in 40% of fatal crashes. 40%. And fog is present on this ridge for less than 10% of total driving hours. Sit with that disparity. A hazard present 1/10 of the time causes 4/10 of the deaths. When people picture a dangerous mountain road, they picture the tail of the dragon. 318 curves in 11 miles. They picture the $1 million highway in Colorado, where the guardrails end and the cliff begins. They picture the hairpins of the Pacific Coast Highway, where one mistake sends you into the surf. Those roads are terrifying and they kill people. But the Blue Ridge Parkway kills more. Not because it's steeper, not because it's narrower, because it lulls you. It presents itself as a Sunday drive, a managed experience, a national park with a speed limit of 45 and a double yellow line and a gift shop at the visitor center, and that reputation is the trap. A road that looks dangerous keeps you sharp. A road that looks this safe lets you soften, lets you drift, lets you believe the fog won't come for you. To understand why this particular ribbon of asphalt turns into a death trap, you have to understand why it is out here at all. The Blue Ridge Parkway began as a Depression-era jobs program. In 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt stood at the Virginia-North Carolina line and dedicated the project as a scenic recreational motorway. Not a highway, a motorway. The distinction mattered. The engineers were told, no commercial traffic, no billboards, No development visible from the road. The alignment would follow the ridge tops, not the valleys, so drivers would always look down on the world. The Civilian Conservation Corps built it by hand. Pickaxes, mules, stone-faced bridges arched over hollows, tunnels blasted through greenstone, 469 miles, 26 tunnels, 168 bridges, 1,200 overlooks. It took 52 years to finish. The last segment, the Lynn Cove Viaduct, didn't open until 1987. A concrete serpent clinging to the side of Grandfather Mountain, built from the top down so the forest below never felt a bulldozer. It is an engineering marvel. It is also a fog machine, and the engineers knew it. In the original 1934 design memos, a landscape architect named Stanley Abbott wrote, "The alignment along the crest exposes the motorist to the full force of mountain weather. Fog will be a persistent condition." They built it anyway because the views were the product, the fog was the cost. And for 90 years, the cost has been paid in blood. Now the mechanism. Why does fog on this road kill differently than fog on any other road? The answer starts with the ground under your tires. The Blue Ridge Parkway sits on the spine of the Appalachians, not beside the mountains, on top of them. For hundreds of miles, the road traces the watershed divide. Water flows west on one side, east on the other. You are literally driving the roof of the continent. And on clear autumn nights, that roof becomes a radiator. The sun sets. The ridgetops, exposed, rocky, thin-soiled, lose heat fast. Radiation cooling. The air right above the pavement drops to the dew point. The forest on either side, dense and wet from afternoon humidity, exhales moisture into that cooling air. Saturation, condensation, fog. It forms first in the gaps and saddles, where cold air drains down from the high peaks. Then it spills over the ridge. It doesn't drift in from the valley. It forms on the road, right on top of you. A driver at milepost 355 at 6:45 a.m. sees clear sky. At 7:15, he's in a whiteout. The fog doesn't move toward you, it blooms around you. Now add the topography. The parkway doesn't climb and descend like a normal mountain road. It stays on the ridge, mile after mile, 5,000 feet, 5,500, 6,000. The highest point, Richland Balsam at milepost 431, sits at 6,053 feet. For 30 miles in either direction, you are above 5,000 feet. That is the fog zone. The cloud base in autumn often sits right at 5,000 to 5,500. You are not driving through the fog. You are driving in the cloud layer, and the road geometry makes it worse. The engineers built for views, wide sweeping curves, long tangents, generous sight distances. On a clear day, you can see a quarter mile ahead. In fog, you see 10 feet. But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain sees the wide lane, the smooth pavement, the gentle grade, and it does what it always does on this road. It relaxes. This is where the psychology kills you. On the tail of the dragon, you are terrified. Your pupils are dilated, your hands are tight, you are processing every inch. On the parkway, you are in a trance. The scenery is beautiful, the radio is on, you're talking to your passenger, you're doing 45, maybe 50. Your following distance is 3 seconds because nothing ever happens. Then the fog hits, and your brain has a choice to slow down, pull over, turn around. But here's the cruel part. The fog on the parkway doesn't feel like danger, it feels like atmosphere. It's soft, quiet. The world goes hushed. Your headlights paint the white into a tunnel, and your brain, starved of visual input, locks onto the only thing it can see. The center line, the double yellow. It becomes your entire reality. You stare at it, you track it, you become it. This is target fixation. Motorcyclists know it. If you look at the guardrail, you hit the guardrail. If you look at the center line, you stay on the center line until the center line curves, and you don't, because in fog, you lose depth perception, you lose speed perception, you lose the peripheral cues that tell you the road is turning. The center line looks straight because you can only see 20 feet of it. 20 feet of a 500-foot radius curve looks straight, so you hold your line, and the road leaves you. Now stack a motorcycle on top of that. 2 wheels, no cage, lean angle required to turn. In clear air, you lean, you turn. The bike does what physics demands. In fog, you see the turn late. You hesitate. You straighten up. The bike goes straight. The road curves. You hit the gravel shoulder at 45, or you panic, grab the front brake, the front wheel locks, and you low side into the guardrail. The statistics are brutal. Motorcycles are 2% of parkway traffic. They are 45% of fatalities. And fog is involved in 70% of those motorcycle deaths. Not because motorcyclists are reckless, because the parkway punishes the exact inputs that fog demands. You need to slow down before the curve, but you can't see the curve. You need to lean into the turn, but your brain says, straighten up, you can't see. The road wins every time, and then there is the stopping problem. The instinct when fog hits is to stop. Pull over, wait it out. On the parkway, that instinct kills. The pullouts are spaced every mile or two. In between, there is no shoulder, just a guardrail or a ditch. If you stop in the travel lane, even with hazards, you are a stationary object in a 45-mile-per-hour lane in zero visibility. The driver behind you is doing 45. He sees your taillights at 30 feet. He has 0.5 seconds to react. He won't. The parkway has a rear-end collision problem in fog that is unique in the national park system because the road invites you to stop. The overlooks are the product. Pull over, enjoy the view. But in fog, the overlook is a trap. You pull in, you get out to take a photo. The fog hides the drop. The guardrail at Craggy Gardens is 30 inches high. A split rail fence. You step back to frame the shot. Your foot finds air. Let me put faces back on the numbers. October 18th, 2018. Milepost 238, North Carolina. A retired couple from Ohio, the Millers, in a 32-foot Class A motorhome. They were leaf peeking. The forecast, patchy morning fog. They entered the fog bank at 7:20 a.m. Visibility dropped to 15 feet. The driver, Robert Miller, 71, did the reasonable thing. He slowed to 20, tapped his brakes. The driver behind him, a local commuter in a pickup, didn't see the brake lights until he was on them. He swerved, clipped the motorhome's rear corner. The motorhome jackknifed, crossed the center line, struck an oncoming Subaru head-on. The Subaru driver, a 24-year-old nurse named Sarah Jenkins, died at the scene. Robert Miller survived with a broken neck. The pickup driver walked away. The fog lifted at 8 a.m. By 9, the road was clear. The only evidence was the guardrail repair and a cross someone tied to the fence post. July 12th, 2020, milepost 417, Virginia. A motorcyclist, 33, experienced full gear, ABS, traction control. He rode the parkway every weekend. That morning was clear at the entrance station. He accelerated to 50. At the tunnel exit, the road drops from ridge to valley there, a cold air pool had formed. Fog, dense and cold, filled the tunnel throat. He entered the tunnel at 50, exited into white. The tunnel portal frames the road. The fog outside is invisible until you're in it. He had 1.2 seconds. He braked. The ABS chattered. He ran out of pavement. The bike struck the tunnel portal wall at 42 miles an hour. He was wearing a $600 helmet. It didn't matter. The impact severed his spinal cord. His riding group found him 20 minutes later. The fog was gone by noon. November 5th, 2022, milepost 382. A shuttle van carrying hikers to the Mountains to Sea Trail. The driver, a local outfitter, knew the road. He knew the fog. He slowed. He used his fog lights. But at the crest near Graveyard Fields, an oncoming box truck, commercial, illegal on the parkway but they come anyway, had its high beams on. In fog, high beams reflect straight back. The driver was blinded, pure white. He drifted left. The van's right tires dropped off the pavement. The soft shoulder gave way. The van rolled down a 45-degree embankment, flipping 3 times. 2 hikers died. The driver survived. The truck didn't stop. April 3rd, 2024, milepost 305. A solo driver, 29, pulled into the Glass Mine Falls overlook. Just a quick photo. She posted it to Instagram at 10:12 a.m. Caption, "Clouds rolling in." The photo shows her at the rail, smiling, the valley below a white ocean. She stepped back to adjust her tripod. The fog hid the fact that the ground behind the rail drops vertically. No ledge, no talus slope, just air. Her body was found 400 feet below at 2 p.m. The phone was still in her hand. The Instagram post is still up. Now take everything you have heard so far and look at the pattern. The fog doesn't discriminate. RVS, motorcycles, cars, vans, pedestrians. It doesn't care about your experience. Robert Miller drove this road 20 times. The motorcyclist rode it every weekend. The outfitter drove it for a living. The fog doesn't care about your vehicle. ABS, traction control, four-wheel drive, fog lights, high beams, low beams. The fog doesn't care about your caution. You can slow down, you can pull over, you can wait, and the fog will still find a way. Because the Parkway's design guarantees the fog. Ridgetop alignment, dense forest both sides, elevation swings from 2,000 to 6,000 feet, gaps and saddles that funnel cold air, radiative cooling on exposed rock, 200 plus fog mornings a year. The National Park Service knows this. They have fog advisories. They have variable message signs at entrance stations. They have a website. They have a recorded phone line, but they have no dynamic speed limits, no automated fog detection, no closure protocol for fog alone. The road stays open. The speed limit stays 45. The center line stays the only thing you can see, and the Parkway keeps collecting. So if you are ever the one making this drive, and millions of you will be, understand what you are actually doing. You are not taking a scenic shortcut through the mountains. You are driving the roof of the Appalachians in the cloud layer on a road designed for views, not for weather. Treat it that way. Check the forecast by milepost, not by town. The weather in Asheville tells you nothing about milepost 355. The Blue Ridge Parkway website has a real-time conditions page. Use it. If the forecast mentions patchy fog, dense fog, or visibility reduced, delay 2 hours, 4 hours, until the sun burns it off. Fog here is a morning phenomenon. 6 to 10 a.m. By 11, it's usually gone. If you're on a motorcycle and the forecast mentions fog, do not go. No exceptions. There is no, I'll be careful. There is no, I know the road does not care. If you enter fog, do not stop in the travel lane. Do not pull into an overlook unless you can see the entire pullout and the guardrail. If you must stop, keep moving at 15 miles an hour with hazards on until you find a visible, clear pullout. Or keep moving until you drop below the cloud base. 3,000 feet usually does it. If you are in a car, increase following distance to 10 seconds. Yes, 10. At 45 miles per hour, that's 660 feet. It feels absurd. Do it anyway. Use low beams only. High beams blind you. Fog lights, if you have them. If you don't drive. And when the road goes straight and quiet and the white closes in, when your own brain begins to whisper that you can relax now, that the fog is pretty, that it's just atmosphere, that is the exact moment to sit up straight. That whisper is how it gets you. Come back one last time to that Saturday morning in October. Daniel and Elena Herrera, 23 years, 2 daughters, a Harley, a photo at Craggy Gardens. Elena laughing in the sun. 90 seconds later, the world turned white. Daniel survived. He spends his days now in a house in Raleigh that is too quiet. He doesn't ride anymore. He doesn't drive the Parkway. He told a reporter once, "We did everything right. We checked the forecast. We wore the gear. We weren't speeding. We just didn't know the fog lives on the road. The Parkway will still be there next October. The rhododendrons will still bloom. The views will still stretch 50 miles on a clear day.